podcasts that we did last week, right? I want to split them into two. Okay. So it'd be like two different things like put out. Same thing with this. So as I know you asked me like, hey, what is it going to be about or whatever. Same thing. I'd rather just talk about a bunch of shit.
Cool.
And then we'll sneak that thing in there somewhere.
Cool.
But I do want to know, okay, the guy who I asked you about, the Andy Elliott group, do you know those other guys in that group? That whole group is like, remember we took Andy Frisilla? And then it's like...
I know that name.
I know of him.
I know that name.
I know of him. And there's like Ed Milet. It's like all these new guys that are like, do you know who Wes Watson is? It's like all these like fitness turned motivational guys that now that's like their main business. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Or is there anyone else of that group that you follow or that you know or that's like in that thing?
That has like not specifically in that group with those people, but just in general.
Just in general that you follow.
I'm sure I do. Like, I'm sure that
I guess, but there's no one that you're really like, you like this guy, and you're like, oh, I like what they do, and I follow every podcast they do. And
Nope.
Really?
Really?
Is there any podcast or something that you do, like, super follow? You're like, oh, I like this guy, I like what they do.
I literally just started listening to last week, Brendan Birchner, I think his last name is. And I don't know if he had, like, a background in fitness, though, but he's a big motivational speaker, works with celebrities, blah, blah, blah. He's huge.
Brendan what?
Birchner?
Burchard?
That sounds right.
That sounds right. The little he's like skinny kind of nerdy guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's great.
Yeah.
He actually is super car.
His podcasts are awesome. But I'm not a big podcast person, like, in general, because I am a very, like, visual person, but I don't have time to watch YouTube.
So what do you have anybody like inspirational people like that you follow that you like following what they do in general? Maybe if it's just another fitness person.
Yeah, I mean, I like they're huge names. Like Whitney Simmons is my obviously idol. Grace.
Why her?
She, I believe, like totally disrupted the market. Like I think she made like ran so we could walk so we could run, you know what I mean? But how she came into YouTube and did the, like, I'm going to walk you through an entire workout, and she, like, totally stuck to that core value. So she still does that. Like, stuff that she did 10 years ago whenever I was first getting into fitness, and, like, I'm watching her YouTube videos to learn how to work out. Yeah. She totally still does that stuff. I think that's awesome that she stuck to that, because that's a lot of work to continue that 10 years down the road, and you don't necessarily need to. So love her. There's a girl by the name of Grace Beverly. She was Grace Fit. She totally like ditched the fitness world kind of and is just now into she started a like ethically made fitness clothing brand, and she totally dove into that. She does like,
what is ethically made? I
guess
not being condescending. I don't know what it means a lot of
like
times.
Well, sustainable, like recycled
Green
material.
Stuff.
Yes, yeah. So she's super awesome. She writes books on like productivity and how to structure your day and getting into like a good routine, stuff like that. So those are kind of my two that I like are ride or die for.
Yeah. Do you steal their stuff and try to use it like your own, or what is that?
I have attempted to do the Whitney Simmons videos, and I can't. And I don't think anyone can. She is like...
Why? What's the difference?
It is so uncomfortable to talk into like how she does it now. She does like mic'd up workouts now in the gym. Okay. And, like, she's just funny and silly and crazy in there. And, like, she's in a gym full of people. Probably an hour. I mean...
Oh, so they're long.
Yeah, they're long. It's her whole workout. It's her whole workout. I mean, maybe they're, like...
45 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, because I was thinking about this the other day. So I'd asked you, I was like, I want to do a podcast. I want to talk about, like, staying disciplined to a thing and do this thing or whatever. And I realized, like... I don't think I ever followed any fitness person ever. Like I don't think I have one like fitness person that like did a thing that I really liked. You know what I mean? It was always like business people or something like that. But I can see how it's helpful. I don't have like a daily discipline routine of like shit that I do, and I wish that I did.
Okay, so whenever you go into your day, are you kind of just like, I know what needs to get done, and it's going to be in whatever order that it like so happens? Or do you not even have like
No, I have
necessarily...
like, what's funny, I guess maybe I'll say this is like for the average person, I probably have a lot of this, but it's like I keep a journal. I know exactly the things I'm working for. I know exactly what I got to get done that day.
Right.
But it's not like I wake up, brush my teeth, meditate, or do a workout. It's like every day I'm just like figuring out how to get it all in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no like rhyme or reason. I'm like, well, this person's got to meet at this time. This has got to go at this time. Like, oh, I got to get this. Or like last night I had like a Warrior 3, kind of like you. I don't know, they couldn't meet until fucking 8:30 p.m. So then I'm just doing that until 10 p.m.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, well now I'm tired as fuck. And so, I don't know, I don't organize and schedule my day into like time slots, I guess is the biggest thing.
I think that is a certain type of person that has to do that. Like, for example, my clients that work 9 to 5s, they have to. They have to organize their time outside of their career, because if they don't, then they get home at 6 p.m. and they're like, I'm tired. I don't want to go back out to the gym, whatever. Yeah. So the clients that I have that have to have structure because they have to be at their job at 9 a.m. every morning and they have to leave at 5 p.m. every day. Those are the ones that we come up with a routine. Okay, what's your morning routine? Are you exercising in the morning? Or are you going straight there after work? You know, you do the same thing every single day because you have to. People that...
But what is your day? Like, what is your day like?
Scattered. Yeah. All over the place. I do have somewhat of a routine now because I learned, we talked about this last time, morning stuff, morning people. They were right. Having a morning routine of some sort is awesome. Does way better, yeah. So I do some form of movement in the mornings, whether it's going to have 45 or like this morning I went on a 30-minute walk. So like eat breakfast, do some form of movement, have my morning coffee, and then like I get started in my day. But outside of that, I can't, because if I am too structured, then I can't make room for things that need to get done. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
It's like having the flexibility you have to have whenever you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, but then the reason I'm bringing this up is like, okay, so my problem is obviously it's always just like I have too many projects going on, right? And so I feel as though if I did a better job of saying like, okay, this is my time allotted to this, and this is my time allotted to this, then like stupid shit wouldn't sneak in. You know? Yeah. Like there is like with the flexibility of being able to like take a meeting here or go do this or go do that. Like today, we're going to shoot this. I'm going to drive really fast. I'm going to go meet another Warrior 3 up at the store. And then we're going to shoot me working out at a gym. It's like, I could have just like maybe scheduled it better. I don't know. Yeah. Rather than, because honestly at the end of every day, I'm like.
Exhausted. Like. Yeah.
Like I just can't even fucking think straight.
Right. I
want to read at night before I go to bed, and the best I can do is like watch YouTube videos about ancient aliens. Like can't. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't,
because you need to be zoned out.
It's got to be so stupid. Yeah. That I like can. Do you know what I mean? Because I have like no mental processing power left. Yeah. Right.
But also, that's part of, like, learning whenever you work best. So, like, maybe you need to read first thing in the morning before you actually, like, start your day. Yeah. I do see the benefit of having a routine, but that does come at, like, you have to, at the beginning of your week, say, what's everything that I need to do this week? And if you're somebody that you're not going to necessarily know that, like, on Sunday, as you're looking at your week, it is difficult to do. But, like, yesterday, for example, I checked off like 10 things off of my to-do list, but like I didn't even like know. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm just.
You didn't plan on doing them?
I didn't necessarily plan on doing them, but I had the time. Like a client canceled, so I had the time. So I just like went through something that needed to get done. I also have ADHD though, so.
Yeah, she was going, yeah, fuck it.
I just bounce from thing to thing.
So you're engaged, you live with somebody, so you also have like personal housewife shit you do too. There's like that kind of stuff that always sneaks in. No? Are you the one person on planet Earth that doesn't? What do you mean?
Like if Connor was in the room right now, he'd be like, Tell him who really does it.
Tell him who does it.
But like
he does the cleaning and cooking and
yes,
all of that.
All of it, except for like grocery shopping, which we do together on the weekend. But like he cooks our dinners. He like washes the dishes in the morning. He vacuums during the day.
Where the fuck did you find this guy? That's not real.
It's so real.
No,
it's so real.
What do you do?
I'm really busy.
I'm just busy all the time.
Yeah,
but I guess he's the kind of person that likes doing that stuff, so it doesn't bother him too much.
He's the kind of person that, like, if there's dishes in the sink.
You only said that because you knew he might watch this. Yeah. There's a possibility you might see a clip and you're like, I go home and I scrub the toilets. And he'd be like, fuck you. Bitch, you lying.
Listen, we're getting married in like 5 months. I can't be lying about it, you know?
I don't know why it's so funny to me.
No, okay. I'm so real though, and we've passed that back and forth before. So like whenever I first moved down here, I wasn't as busy because I didn't have all of the stuff going on with my job that I do now, and he was very busy. He was working like 12-hour days, so like that was my job at the time. So like we shift to give myself a little bit of props. I've done it before.
So then, what is your personal stuff? What is your personal stuff that you schedule? Do you do it in the morning? Do you do it in the evening?
Like my exercise, like that kind of stuff.
You say you do your exercise thing in the morning, but I mean, like, I just mean other personal stuff, like even simple shit. Like sometimes at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't want to shower because I'm so fucking tired. Yeah. And like, it just didn't happen today. Do you know what I mean? And it's like a struggle.
Whenever I first started my 96% challenge back in like the summer with my clients, which was establishing a routine outside of your 1 hour of exercise each day. Prior to that, I had like the routine of all routines. Like I was waking up every morning. I was waking up at the same time, like 6:15. I was journaling in the morning. I was going to my F45 class, at 7 a.m. I was journaling in the evenings. Like it was on point. And it was awesome. I loved every second of it. I have fallen off a little bit from it. And I will say having that structure and like at least in my morning and in my evenings made the rest of my day so much more, I guess, like less scattered. Yeah. Which was awesome. I need to get back into it, honestly, because it is awesome. It's great to not like end your day and be like, I have nothing left in the tank. And I do feel like whenever I started out my day with some form of routine, I had more in my tank in the evening. Yeah.
You know what? This is so fucking random okay, so I go to Lifetime. Uh-huh. I cannot make this up. For the last year, there is a rabbi who goes and sits in the sauna the same time I do at like 9 or 9:30 p.m. And so it's not every day, but it's like at least once a week.
Okay.
And I just talk to this fucking old rabbi
Love that.
about life. And like, I don't think he knows it, but it ended up, it was so great to just like, have this space like once a week or something to just like talk to this person who like, he's just like, I don't know what I imagine a rabbi or a priest or anything is like. They're just like calm and, kind of just easy to talk to.
Sure.
And by the way, I'm not Jewish either. I'm not anything. And he's full, right? Like the curly hair thing here comes in with the big like robe deal. He's whatever the rabbi of like a Jewish school.
Okay.
Out here for, I think there's probably like one in fucking Arizona.
Okay.
And so anyway, over the last year, he just stepped down from being a principal there and is getting divorced. The same time in the last 2 months, went through a really, not like a bad breakup, but I was just with this girl for a long time. And we broke up. Yeah. And then, I have personal stuff, everybody has something.
You're right.
And then work stuff. So it's like having this space to just sit and talk to this guy about like, I don't know, deep shit, but also like, I don't really know him.
Yep.
I was like, I wonder if I could like schedule this. And as I was thinking about it last night, I was like, oh, that's what a therapist is.
I was literally just like,
there's like this amazing guy who just listens to me and like gives good advice and like I wish I could schedule a regular thing for it. And I was like, I got a free therapist. Last night he was just huge, like smacking my forehead. I was like, I look forward to him being there. And when he's not there, I'm a little like,
damn.
But now
I really had some things to get off my chest tonight.
And it's so nice because he's like an impartial. Like he doesn't, he's not in my life. Really.
Right. And which is what a therapist is. I want to just say that one more
clarify
time.
That. Have you ever seen a therapist?
I have, and I actually just started seeing a new therapist like this month. Have you ever seen a therapist?
You know what? Like only one time, and it was not from. It was like I was real young, and it was like when I was a kid, like shit that whatever.
Yeah.
And like I was so turned off by the whole thing. Like I was just like, I don't know. So that in my mind is like what it is.
Right.
And I just was like, that's gross.
So whenever I first went to a therapist, maybe like whenever I first moved down here, moving away from family, everything, I was like, damn, I need somebody to talk to that isn't my, fiance that I complain to every night. And she was very nice, but like too nice, where like I didn't get much help throughout it. And recently, which is why I started going back, I talked to a friend of mine and she was like, you have to like interview therapists. Like you have to vibe with them. Like you can't just go and like.
Totally makes sense.
Totally. But I was like, people are doing that? Like I'm just going to the first person and they're like,
who takes my insurance?
I see. Exactly. And so the girl that I'm going to right now, she was referred to me, and like I genuinely leave every session probably how you leave your conversations with
a little closer to Judaism.
Absolutely. No, I do. I leave being like, wow, I feel validated. I feel like lighter. I feel happier. I highly recommend trying it out again if you ever are like interested, because
well, so it's like, and obviously it's literally since last time I've been thinking about it, running into my head, is like, I think one of the other things is there is this like, okay, I remember I had a business coach, and the business coach was really great to talk to because he had also run a couple of other companies, right? And I think if you are just like, it's just like anything else. I don't think like owning a business is special. I just think it's like if you're a carpenter, it's nice to talk to another carpenter if it's whatever the thing is.
Right.
But like he was just like a male who owned a business and knew what it was like when like employees were doing something. It's like before I could even say it, he's like, I know, I get it. He's like, you know what that thing feels like.
Right.
And that is one thing depending on what your job is or whatever, there is this like big level of like, it's not just, it's like the burden of other people's lives, I feel like are on me, and I could totally be making it up. But it's like, it does feel, it's like, oh, well, if I fuck up, you don't eat. And for like a ton of people. Right. And it's like the level of that stress is just so much higher. Right. You know what I mean?
No, I completely agree.
And so that's why another thing I like, most therapists, at least when I make it up in my mind, they want to like talk about, it's like your life and your emotions and stuff. But it's like, that's not really the problem for me. It's like, I just have this very narrow band of like issues and I need help with those issues.
I think that there's therapists out there that specialize in that kind of therapy too, though. You know, like I remember listening to an episode where Alex Cooper, Color Daddy host, she spoke about going to therapy, and she was talking to them specifically about like running her business. And I feel like there's a huge benefit in that, because that's real. Like you are responsible for all of your employees. That's real. I think that there's probably a lot of therapists that don't encounter that kind of specialty very often. So you probably would have to like go find one. But that is stressful.
I don't know. But so it had me thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I think making that kind of like a routine of just getting shit out and off my chest, you know what I mean, would help a lot. Yeah. Because what I feel like happens is my schedule is kind of like this. Like just go really hard for like 45 days and don't ever take a day off. And then eventually I just kind of break. And I don't know how to explain. And it'll be like a Wednesday and I'm like, I can't do anything today. I don't know what it is. And it's very sparse, but it does happen where then that day comes and I'm like, I have to like shut down. And it's like my body just feels like, and it's just a bad cycle.
Do you take time off, like on the weekends, like every week?
Never.
You don't have weekends.
And I'm not saying that to be like to exaggerate. Is like I own these retail stores and they're open 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then my online business stuff is really like Monday through Friday and finding these brand ambassadors and doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the weekend is like my only time to spend in the retail stores.
Right.
Otherwise, there would be zero time to do it.
So what do you do on the weekends in the stores?
I mean, you're really just like watching every team. You got 15 employees
Mm-hmm.
and you've got a manager of each one of them who like, it's not like we're Dollar General,
Mm-hmm.
right? That there's like 5,000 locations and there's just like a system for how everything works.
Right.
There is a good system, but also like we're just a new startup. We're not a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So this didn't come with like a tool book on how to do it.
Right.
I wrote the tool book.
Right.
And then I give it to people and they don't do it right. I kind of got to correct how they're doing it.
Right.
And that's all it really is, like making a plan and then as they deviate, slowly correcting so that way they can really get it right. And
so you do like sales training stuff on the weekends?
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta make some time for yourself though.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
otherwise you are gonna have like a 45-day breakdown where you're like nobody.
It does. It's
nobody talked to
exactly
me.
how it works. But then I think about it, I'm like, well, I don't really know a better option.
Just because of everything that's on your plate right now.
And it's like I think I was telling you about this last time. Is like to go from 0 to $1, $2, $3 million in sales. Like you just got to be a good salesman and be fucking like high energy.
Right.
But then to go from whatever 2 or 3 to 10 is like it's just a different jump. But they actually call it a valley of death because you're at a place where you don't have enough money as a company to hire.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have the money to go hire some fucking sales training guru from Ohio, New York or something to come in and do it.
Right.
So like it has to be you
Mm-hmm.
until you get to the next place where you can do something like that.
Right.
And it's just like there is almost no way around it besides just like toughing it out till you get there.
Right. I do think though having some form of like you time, whether it's like first thing in the morning, you actually do like read or meditate or like something. You gotta have something like that, or else you are gonna burn out. I mean, you already know that, like but I do feel like in this world also you're like it's so fast paced. Everything that you're doing already is so fast paced, but. Yeah, I think you gotta do something for yourself. Maybe
What
just
is
once a week.
what is your thing you go do? What is your off time stuff you do with your fiance or I don't know, personal stuff? What does that look like?
Hiking is big for us right now. Like obviously in this season
Super
now,
nice,
it's so nice out.
That is a good one.
It really is, and going to like Payson. Have you ever been up to Payson?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a few hikes out there that are gorgeous that like you don't have to deal with the Sedona, Flagstaff, traffic, whatever. So we've been up there a couple of times. We've got hikes by us that, we can just go for like an hour or two and be in nature and like off of our phones. Even like my workout time during the week is like my therapy, but I'm on my phone. I'm kind of working. I'm filming. I'm doing, content creation of some sorts.
Yeah.
So I'm not off. I'm not like, clocked out. And whenever I hike, I'm able to like, put my phone in my little fanny pack and listen to music or a podcast or whatever and just.
You know what? It like just hit me as you were saying this. I used to do a good so when I just had the retail stores, what I would do is like once a month, and granted this is a lot nicer when you are like dating someone, I would go to a cabin in Sedona and I would take 3 days and that's where I would just like write the business plan, do research. And it's like, I'm working, but it's a much more mellow pace.
Right.
Like I can just get up at 9 a.m. and like, I'm just going to like, take my dog and like look out at nature and shit. And then I'm just like working on stuff, but then I can stop and get lunch. And that was actually incredibly productive. That helped me make like all the products that we have here. I basically made our whole supplement line hanging out in Sedona, just like researching other brands and looking up vendors.
I feel like whenever you get into your business, like as you keep getting deeper and deeper and it keeps getting, bigger, it's growing, you forget those little things that you did like at the beginning that really worked and created it, what it is now. So maybe baking something like that in every 3 months, once a quarter, you go up to Sedona, by yourself or with a group or whatever and actually like slow down a little.
You know, it was funny. It was really nice though, because I did it a handful of times, and the girl that I was dating at the time, we actually went up there. It was me, her, and her friend. Because it was like we would get dinner, and then like those two would just like leave and go off and go do, I don't know, girl stuff. I don't even know what that is. But then that left. I'm imagining.
What do you think girl stuff
painting
is?
their nails in the woods. Like it's just two of them. They're just like doing. I don't know.
They're building
I know what they like. They like to do mushrooms and like hang out and go hike in nature and stuff. No problem. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
But it was fine because they would leave, and then I got to like sit there and just like do work for a couple hours, do stuff, and then we'd like get dinner, and that was like enjoyable. That was incredibly enjoyable. Huh. I need to do that.
You got to bring things back like that, and you got to keep it fun. Like. You're not doing anything fun for yourself.
Yeah.
But this is fun. I know that building your business is fun for yourself.
It is genuinely really fun. And yeah, it's like first world problems. Right. You know? But I think that in this last little bit, I've been in such a crunch where it's just like, you try to push things so hard that like it makes it worse.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like if you just had a softer approach with it, it would probably go smoother.
As far as my content creation goes, that's where I feel like I'm at right now, that I haven't taken some time to just like take a step back and get creative and get into that like creative space. And that is hindering whenever you're like just going, pushing, and you don't allow yourself to get into your creative mindset, because that's a muscle in itself. Creativity is a muscle in itself, and if you don't use it, then it's hard to get back to it.
Dude, you saying that, thinking about it, it's like, that's why I think I've just started putting these podcasts every day. It's like, that's why they suck right now, is because, I don't think they suck, but they're not, I mean, I know it's just going to take time to get good.
Right.
But like, I'm also not sitting down and even like thinking about, I didn't know that this was like going to be out here.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not like thinking about what we're going to talk about. I'm just kind of like doing it, rather than like, getting that creative space and reading and fucking getting in that zone.
It is so real that if you like give yourself, say, 30 minutes a day to like be creative about whatever it is, it is so much easier. Like on week 2, you're like, it's coming a million miles per hour. Like, you know, whatever creative juices, they're flowing. But if you don't, like if you take, you know, a month off and you're like, I'm just doing bare minimum, I'm getting by, but I'm not putting extra time into it. If you sit down and try and be creative, it is so fucking hard.
It's hard.
Like, even...
Because it also feels like I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that I'm being lazy thing.
Yes, yeah. Like, are you really contributing to your business right now by just, like, trying to be creative? But it does, obviously. Like, we know the benefit of it, but it's like stretching. Working out. Like, we know the benefit of it, but like, damn, do I really want to take 10 minutes after I'm done working out and like stretch my muscles? No, I don't want to do that.
I know.
But it's beneficial too.
But it's so fucking real.
Right.
Yeah, I think, I know I always, like the podcast could be so much better, even the content we put out, if like, I just watched a little bit more of other people's content, got an idea about things, was just thinking about it, like wrote stuff down.
Yeah.
But then that seems like such a drain on that finite resource of time.
Right.
Right? Is that, you know, like even sitting here is like, we have to hire another position. So Eddie, this is like the fucking camera guru. This is the editing master over here. But like for all the marketing stuff we need to do, like he can't do all of it. He can't he can't edit it and post it and respond to people and do all that. Like, I got to hire somebody else.
Right.
And so I'm sure we have 3 or 4 hours of just like coming up with what all that is. And I even like sitting here, I don't know when the fuck that's going to happen.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Right.
Hey, do you want to hang out at midnight tonight and go get a beer? Like, what do you... Like, I've got work from now until 9 p.m. So what am I going to do? Make an employee come in at 9 p.m. To go do that shit?
Right.
Maybe.
Well, yeah. That is it. I mean, again, first world problems, but like, it is tough whenever you have so many moving pieces that all need a lot of attention. Like, this is an hour of your day, a little bit more, you know, with like coming in, setting up, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're taking a lot of time out of your day for each pieces of your business.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out when you're going to put everything together.
Yep. I have, when I was totally on top of, so I'm telling you, we have that 91.9 program. It's kind of like your 96% program of our thing. When I came up with it and I was doing it every single day, things were fucking flying. Like it was killing it. But then I stopped because now I'm making the app, so I'm not like actually using it.
Right.
Which is pretty dumb if you think about it. But
like implementing the 91.9 into your life.
Yeah, into my daily life.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to put proof in pudding. I was like, oh, I'm going to do this for 3 months. I'm going to do this whole thing.
Right.
And it was awesome. Went really well. The team loved it. We were doing great. But then, like, it has to go from that beta test, like, into production.
Right.
And so now we're just not using it.
Right.
And I've realized, like, oh, yeah, that structure of using that thing really did help a lot.
Gotta practice what you preach.
Gotta practice
what you fucking preach. It really sucks. It really does. Because that's how I dropped off after the 96% challenge was over. Because I got into everything else in my life. Excuses and more excuses. And, like, immediately, the day that I stopped doing it, I was like, damn, I'm a lot less productive during my day whenever I'm not focusing on the rest of my day. I'm not focusing on my sleep, my routine, my habit in the morning, my whatever else.
When do you get married?
March.
And are you going somewhere for your honeymoon right afterwards?
We don't have a plan, but that is the plan.
You don't know where you're going to go yet, though.
Right.
But you do know where you're going to get married at.
Yes.
Okay. You do have like that.
That part is planned.
Okay. All right.
Don't stress me out though.
But you are going to go somewhere. Where are you getting married at?
Surprise. It's called the Willow up north.
Okay.
They're awesome.
Just like a wedding venue.
Desert wedding venue.
Cool.
Yes.
But then afterwards you're going to take off for a little bit. So that time of like taking off, do your customers and people you work with, that's not a problem? They don't care?
I've never done it before.
Oh, so you don't know? Like,
even me planning doing that originally until we chatted the last time and talked about, bringing on an assistant, my thought, and I've said this, like, to Connor a million times, I'm just going to work while we're on our honeymoon. Like, I'm going to take 2 hours of every morning and just, like, respond and still, be there for them. And to be totally honest, I probably still will do some stuff. Like, I'll probably still check in with them and make sure that, like, everything is going good. But I've never taken
like more 2 weeks or something. Yeah.
No. Never. I've never taken more than a weekend off.
Yeah.
From chatting with them. And if I'm going somewhere for a weekend where I, like, genuinely can't reach out to them, like, my bodybuilding competition, I left on, like, a Thursday. I reached out to them, like, 2 weeks prior and was like, I will not be able to respond to you, like, just on Saturday. Just so you know. I
think I told you about this, but even when I went to wedding, it was like one of my really good friends' weddings in Italy. I still did our warrior coaching call at like, I don't even know what time, at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning or something.
Right.
I'm just like standing out in the street in Italy, like just doing this coaching call to a bunch of people here.
After you went to sleep at 2 in the morning?
Yeah. I did our normal calls here. I did everything. And I'm sure just like pissed my buddy off and everybody else because I'm just like running off and doing this stupid shit all the time.
Right.
But I do, it's funny because like I have the team to be able to do those things. And so there's also this thought in my head, like, am I just like being dramatic? Am I just doing this and being so extra about something that like clearly they could just handle, but I'm just like not letting it happen? You know the mom that like takes their kids to Disney World and like everybody's in the right Disney shirt and like lined up for the picture the right way and like you got to get on the boat in this order and like the kids are just like, just let us have fucking fun, right? Like we'll do it. Do you know what I mean?
Like a Disney mom.
Disney mom.
I feel
Am I
that.
A Disney mom?
No, I mean I can see where you're coming from with it, but at the same time, like. This is how I feel at least. I feel guilty if I don't do that. Like, if I'm leaving
the guilt is worse
up to them.
Yeah, than any of the other repercussions.
Right. Which is probably how Disney moms feel.
Probably.
Like, looking around at the kids that, like, have the matching shirts, and they're like, fuck, we could have had matching shirts.
You know what's funny? As I'm saying, I'm like, oh my God, I would definitely make my kids wear matching shirts if we went somewhere together. and my wife, they're all going to wear this. They're going to wear a shirt with pictures of my face on it that say Team Stratman on the back. My wife's going to have a giant picture of my face.
With Mickey Mouse ears?
With me, the ears, and the kids are all going to be numbered.
Okay, so you are just a Disney mom.
Just a Disney mom.
Just in your life in general.
In general.
Okay, well, I'm glad that we could come to that conclusion.
As I was saying, that sounds kind of fun.
You're like, actually, no, we will be doing that.
Like that? You know, I'm kind of piecing these things together. Every girl I've ever dated, when we would go on dates, I'm like, you can't wear that. We don't match. We can't. I didn't really think about that. And I don't feel like it has to be the same color, but I'm like, you're wearing brown, I'm wearing black. You can't. We look a mess here. It does. That bothers me a lot.
Really?
Oh, like crazy.
I never would have pegged you for when you're coming out. You know the TikToks that are like when you show up in the same outfit? Mm-hmm. Like shit. And it's just the guy in like the girl's fitness clothes.
Yeah. shit. That is a funny meme. That's a good one.
I love those videos. But so you're the one that comes out.
Oh,
and you're like,
every time.
If you're not matching, you're like, shit.
It's just sometimes like I'll see. God, I remember just.
Is it for pictures? Are you a picture taker?
Picture, but also like I don't know. You're going out. Like you got to look like a fucking duo. You can't be like Catwoman, and Batman. They both got the tight black spandex on. If one was in pink, it just wouldn't look right.
They would never know that they were together.
They would not. They're not friends then.
Right.
That's not cool.
Right.
Like,
and you can't risk being out somewhere and somebody being like, clearly they don't even know each other. They don't even know each other.
Losers. They're on a first date. They're not. This is well coordinated.
Okay. I am making fun of you, but I get where you're coming from because and I'm more on like the picture side of it. Like we gotta be on the same speed. Like have you seen the
Austin Powers outfit that you wore? That was great. I think
that was so good.
I showed it to like a handful of people.
That was cool. I peaked. I have nowhere else to go with
that was
Halloween
pretty fucking
now.
good.
I wanted to wear a bald cap for 3 years.
You're just picking anybody that you can wear a bald cap with.
And you know what? I got like a devil costume, just like a basic bitch devil costume. And I'm like, how can I incorporate a bald cap into this? So I think I'm going to, because like Doja Cat, you know her her look. I think I'm gonna incorporate it.
I'm normally a big Halloween guy, but at 37, it's weird to go get dressed up by yourself. Like if you're a couple, you can put an outfit on, but being 37 and just showing up in an outfit somewhere is like, it really is fucking weird.
No, it's because I was just at Walmart the other day getting like Halloween decorations, and there was just a guy by himself. Picking out a Halloween costume, and I was like,
that's rough. It's so sad, but it's like, I'm going to be spending this Halloween in. Because if you don't have a significant other past 35, you can't do Halloween.
I totally disagree, though. I think you just can't be seen buying it in Walmart by yourself.
By yourself, yeah. Oh my God.
Do you use smelling salts? This is a totally random, but I had this guy chatting up me and my girlfriend while we're at the gym, and he is just huffing smelling salts.
Oh my God.
And I just wonder,
was he getting you to smell it?
He did get my girlfriend to smell it, and I was like, no, thank you. I don't need my nostrils burned.
I couldn't imagine a more weird situation than a random dude being like, smell this.
Smell this.
Shh, go to sleep.
Well, he's also like,
sleep. Yeah.
Right. So I just had to know if you were one of those smelling salt.
No, I'm not at all. But I do remember, before my days now, in my 20s, I did strongman competitions.
Oh, okay.
And that was a pretty I remember doing it and I tried it a couple times. It does work. Uh-huh. But also, I think it's best for like powerlifting because you're like going to do it once. You're going to hit this big lift.
Yeah.
In strongman, it's like you're doing it, but then you're carrying like 600 pounds a bunch of yards. So it's not like one big lift. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's great for the first second.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, this is worse. I'm like, I can't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't concentrate.
Interesting.
So it was like, I remember some people did, but it wasn't a big thing for that group.
Yeah. I just feel like it's the funniest thing in the world.
It's
like,
so weird.
Grown men just huffing this little.
You know what I do that's kind of worse though is like he knows because he's been here videotaping with me. Is like if it's a gym I can, I will work out as close to butt naked as possible.
Oh sure.
I mean, shirt off, shoes off, socks off. I will roll my little shorts all the way up to a little diaper.
You are barefoot in the gym.
Well, now to be fair, the gym that we're training at is like a private, small, 800 square foot. It's like there's no one. There's maybe one other person in there.
Okay.
I wouldn't do it at an EOS.
You just dogs out though.
Oh yeah.
Barking.
I love because when you're squatting and stuff like that, actually being barefoot really does like work.
Okay.
Because your toes spread out.
Right.
Right. And then you got the grip of your feet on the floor. It does like work. You are so thrown off by this.
I just imagine
these gross, dirty man hot dogs.
And also just gripping into the floor as if you're just toes in the sand.
Yes.
Do you keep your socks off the whole workout?
Whole workout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going hard.
Upper body days too?
Just doing bicep curls barefoot.
Like honestly, the grip is just unbelievable.
It's incredible. It really helps balance.
I do think so. Obviously, this is a huge thing on social media. Like, if you have a video go viral as a female where you're wearing a sports bra and athletic shorts, you have a bazillion angry men they're commenting, men and women. I mean, there's some women too, angry that you are naked on the internet.
You're not naked.
You're absolutely not naked.
Okay. What are they angry about?
I guess the nudity.
Oh, okay.
And
do they know porn exists? Are they aware of?
I'm sure that was their last search prior to seeing this video.
Yeah. Okay.
But they will comment about how it's distracting in the gym for them and how you need to practice modesty. And obviously these people have never worked out because if they did, they would understand that one, if you're really working out hard, you don't want to be just like in sweatpants and a sweatshirt and a long sleeve, whatever. And two, if you're really working out, why are you distracted?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Why are you looking at me?
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you said that because I'm totally on that same wave. Like if I'm not always in, like sometimes I will wear a sports bra to the gym. Like I go to an EOS that accepts it, not every gym does.
Do they not let you wear sports bras?
No, they do. They do.
Okay. Oh.
Some gyms don't though. Some gyms will be like, it's mostly like YMCAs, stuff like that, like where there's like 90-year-old men that might have a heart attack, they can't risk that. But I like not every day am I in a sports bra, but when I am, luckily my gym is very awesome. Like they're awesome about it, but that's like huge on the internet. You don't see those videos or like the comments?
You know what's funny is I noticed that there's a guy who works for me. He's the manager of my Gilbert location who is like, he's literally getting his pro card. He's going to get his pro card this weekend. Like he's fucking monster.
This weekend?
This weekend.
Sweet.
Like he's right on track to do it. I'm so outside of like the bodybuilder kind of community, which is, it's not just about it, but it's like, I don't know, like common fitness community like that. Do you know what I mean? I really don't know a lot of the stuff in there. Okay. Like, I don't really know who like Chris Bumstead is. Okay. Like, I do know, but like, I don't know anything about him. Or, and that's like, that whole kind of like, I guess like common like gym culture is pretty, it's just like, it's not anything I'm into, so it's pretty foreign to me. Right. Yeah. And you're more in like the motivational space whenever you're on like not really like business, like like direct hardcore scaling and organization, finance, legal shit, stuff like that.
I feel like we talked about this before, but I think that whenever you
real quick, I want to go back just.
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Is it like that people are upset that you're posting stuff that you're in a sports bra, or that you're working out somewhere in a sports bra?
I think both. Oh, okay. I think that it's people are mad that like anybody, women in general, there's always going to be people that are mad that they're getting recognition for anything.
Oh, it's about you getting attention.
Right.
It's not about you actually wearing a sports bra.
Right. Yes, exactly.
So they're yelling at you being like, oh, you're just doing this for attention.
Exactly. Okay. Right. And I've had a gentleman in the gym before. We were both recording videos, so we were kind of chatting about like recording, and he was talking about his TikTok, whatever. And he was like, how do you feel about girls on social media posting in like, very little clothes? Like, probably not going to get the answer that you're looking for.
I don't know what you're looking for, but whatever I'm going to say, it's not going to be the one you want.
It's not going to be aligned with how you're feeling. But, I think it's whatever. Like, if they feel comfortable working out like that and they want to, post it, it's probably going to make somebody else feel like, oh, I feel more confident, to go in shorts today or whatever it is. And he's like, well, what about, the girls that are posting videos of their asses? And I'm like, again, bud, you're barking up the wrong tree here. I just feel like, if they're working hard on that and they feel like that's, a muscle group that they're really proud of, whatever. And he really was like trying to pull this out of me to kind of like talk shit on women in the gym in general. And he posts content for women. Like his whole page is dedicated towards women, like coach for women. Okay. And it's interesting to see that like it's maybe like those are his competitors, that he's in that space trying to coach women, and he feels threatened by the women that are getting attention from like those kinds of videos. But it was
so what'd you end up saying? What did you say?
I mean, I just was like, men and women post videos that, the men probably post videos of like their freaking chest or shoulders or back or whatever that they're proud of. And women, are more dominant in their legs, so they are going to post themselves squatting or hip thrusting or whatever it is. Yeah. So I kind of just took it back and was like, think about what you're saying, and see that you're being a little bit more like angled towards one person, one gender, whenever it's kind of everyone. I handled it well, but it's still just stupid,
Yeah, but it's also, to me, it's like, I think about this. Actually, I talk to my team about it all the time. It's like, just being very frank, there are a lot of people who, let's say they're posting content or making content or doing whatever, and like, I don't know, it's highly sexualized. Mm-hmm. It just is. Yeah. But also, like, so is kind of everything we do. Like, if you look at a perfume commercial, it's like 2 half-naked people running on a beach. Like, what? Right. What are we? This is nothing. What are we doing here? Right. Well, I don't know. Yeah, because it works. Like, I don't know. Right. And it seems to. Yeah, it just is what it is. And I think that you can tell if somebody's like working out and they're shooting something because it's like, oh, this is informational content or whatever, right. Or if it's just like highly sexualized. But the other side is like, if it is highly sexualized, it doesn't really matter, because this is the part that I should train my team about. This is like, not everyone, but realistically, 80% of people, we are working out just to attract a mate. Right. Truthfully. Right. And I know, and most people, when I say, they're like, no, it's not. It's because I want to be healthy and I want to do this. And it's like, I promise you, I know you're not testing your blood pressure. Mm-hmm. I know that you're not testing your blood glucose sugar levels. Right, right. This is not about your health. Right. Which it's good that this is a good side operation of that. Right. Totally fine. Right. But like, all it really is like you're trying to craft yourself in a way to best get a mate. And like, that's also okay. Like, that's, I don't know, it's not that weird. I think that there's, like, if you would ask somebody the top, 5 reasons why you're exercising, there's not one person that wouldn't say something about
whether it's confidence, and that confidence bleeds into I feel more confident, because I feel more attractive towards whatever sex, that I want to be attractive towards. But psychologically, there's always going to be something in us that does want to.
Well, it's the thing. It's like you only really do anything ever in your whole life for 3 reasons. One is health. One is wealth. And then the other one is relationships. Right? And I mean, you can draw everything back to you. So it's like, think caveman time, right? Like, you're probably eating food, right? So that way you can live longer to procreate.
Right.
That is the only, and it's not just for humans, all animals. Like, you got to eat sustenance and do stuff so you stay away from danger, keep health in mind, so you can just procreate.
Right.
Well, the next one is wealth. Even think, again, caveman, like, why did you stockpile resources? Like, stockpiling food was their money.
Right.
Well, it was so that way if you had more resources, you could last and live for longer, and more people wanted you because of your resources. Then the last one, relationships. You have to, like, we're a social mammal. So, right, like, lizards just live by themselves. Humans. Really?
By themselves.
These little lizards.
There's not a gaggle of lizards?
There's no gaggles of lizards.
What?
There's no, I'm trying to think of an L word. Livacious of lizards. Okay, whatever. Anyway.
Wow.
I really tried that one.
Okay.
Humans, like, we have to work in groups.
Right.
We're pretty useless without it.
Right.
And so it's really important to not just for sexual stuff, but also, like, if you got kicked out of the group, you were for sure going to die. Right? That's why, like, kicked out of any social group is so scary.
Right.
So really, on, like, a biological, these are the chemicals going through your brain. Those are the only 3 reasons you do anything.
Right.
Essentially.
Right.
And so if you, like, again, boil that all down, you could be going to the gym a little bit for health, a little bit because you might want to, like, meet people there to build relationships, and also because, like, you want to find a mate, right? It's like, yeah, but that's just it.
I love thinking about cavemen.
What? Oh, damn. Keep going.
This is really important
great.
Stuff, too.
Very important. Tell me about the insurance caveman.
I just love thinking back to, like, how did we get, because you can think about, like, everything, just like you said, like, you can think about everything that we do today back to, like, what instinctually we did that, like, led us to this place.
Yep.
And I think that is the most interesting thing in the world to think about. Like, anything that we're doing in today's world, where you're like, what would a caveman do that's the equivalent of this? You can always think of something.
But it is, and it's not like what a caveman would do. A caveman would do the same thing because this is a part that I think we forget a lot of times is, like, when we say caveman, let's say living 20,000 years ago.
Yeah.
They weren't hairy or something. They looked exactly like you. There was no difference. You don't, in 20,000 years, change the DNA sequence of a mammal that lives 70 to 80 years old. They didn't look different. They're the exact same.
20,000 years ago.
Divide 20,000 by, let's cut it and say 50.
Okay.
Right? Because that's, like, maybe the average lifespan is, like, that's not enough reproductive cycles for a animal to evolve and look different. That happens over 1 million, 10 million, 50 million years. So, like, they didn't, now, there were other, I don't know if 20,000 years ago, I might be wrong, I don't know. But there might have also been, what's the other thing? Homo heidelbergensis and Homo neanderthalis or whatever. So they, like, looked a little different. But Homo erectus, which is what we are, it's the same thing. Like, we didn't look, there's no difference. Right? It just is now we've created all these structures around us that make what we do makes life a lot different. But it's like putting like an old, Microsoft DOS software, but we're just on a brand new 2023 laptop.
Right.
Like, the software is still the same. The way our brains compute and do everything has not changed. Right. We just have all these weird different infrastructures now.
Right.
And so now, it's like that thing, again, I was kind of saying a second ago, is like being afraid of public speaking. Well, the only reason that's scary is, again, because when we lived in tribes of, let's say, it was like 70 to 140 people, is like, if you did something wrong and got banished, that meant for sure death.
Right.
But so did a spider meant for sure death.
Right.
So that's why you're equally afraid of both, because biologically your brain is just squirting the chemicals with high amounts of cortisol that like this is danger. And so you don't want to be put in those situations.
That is so interesting.
It's just to keep your genes passed on to the next cycle.
Right.
You know, there's a guy who wrote a great book about this, and I'm not going to remember the name of it, but so if you take all 4 of the major neurological hormones, it's dopamine, oxytocin, adrenaline, and serotonin. Those 4 is like in all different amount, but that's just what feelings are. That's all it is it's like things happen and our brains like react by increasing or leveraging amounts of those that make you either feel closeness to a person or like the reward that like I took a sip of this, that tastes good, and so now I'm left with a drop in dopamine, so I want to do it again.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right.
It's like we're not that complicated.
Right.
We're pretty fucking simple.
Right. And it does come back to all of that, health, wealth, and relationships.
That's all it is.
Because those all do give us that hit of dopamine or that happiness.
Yep.
Interesting.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to go over today?
I feel like we did a pretty good job.
I think we nailed it.
We put some of the consistency in there also. Yeah, right.
We're done.
Killed it.
Great work, guys.